Bilateral relationships between countries not only strengthens ties, but also stimulates economic development. The elevation of Nigeria-China ties to comprehensive strategic partnership level took a positive turn when the two leaders met to further strengthen relations that have lasted over a century. Presidents Bola, Tinubu and Xi Jinping of China witnessed the signing of several Memorandum of Understanding MOUs on various areas of mutual interests. Let's share this story by TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde with you.
This state visit to the People's Republic of China precedes President Bola Tinubu's participation in the 2024 summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, scheduled to hold from the 4th to 6th of September. President Bola Tinubu was treated to a welcome ceremony reserved only for visiting heads of state. Later, he sat down to hold talks with President Xi Jinping. He said his administration remains committed to sustainable growth through the effective implementation of ongoing economic reforms.
The China-Nigeria relations that is over half a century should further strengthen our trade and economic development program. Nigeria has a very great potential as largest population in Africa and is the biggest economy.
The President of the People's Republic of China acknowledged the long-standing relationship between the two countries that dates back to more than 5 decades. President Bola Tinubu and President Xi Jinping superintended over the signing of strategic Memoranda of Understanding between the two countries.
In addition to statements of joint mutual interest and commitments to development, security, and undertaking to work together for the betterment of Nigeria, Africa.
Road Initiative is China's modern-day Silk Road, connecting countries, connecting people, connecting economies through rail, through road, through electricity lines.
5 memoranda of understanding were signed between the two countries to promote mutual cooperation in different fields of interest and enhance the implementation of the Belt and Road Initiative, which is a massive infrastructure project that seeks to connect China with other parts of Asia, Europe, and Africa. For President Bola Tinubu, his main message in China is to assure the world that Nigeria is open and ready to do business. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
Beautiful report from Femi Akonde there. Biko, let me start with you. Nigeria and China have both elevated their relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnership. Now, what exactly does this mean for Nigeria and China?
Oh, it's a win-win situation for both countries.
Okay.
China is keen to build enduring relations with the continent of Africa. We are like the beautiful bride that everyone is courting. So China is trying its best to achieve a big head start ahead of countries like America, the UK, the EU nations, led by Germany, which is the most industrialized of the EU nations.
Okay.
So China sees a big market in Africa, and China is doing its best to deepen ties with African countries so that African countries can see it as a strategic partner. So for China, embracing Nigeria with both arms is something that is inevitable because Nigeria has the market that is not available in many African countries.
Has the largest economy.
Well, in a way, you could say that we have the largest economy, although South Africa is on our coattails, and given some of the reverses that we suffered in the last few years, South Africa may soon overtake us as the largest economy. But we are not going to rest on our laurels, and the president is moving around the world and letting the world know that Nigeria is ready to do business, that some of the negative stories that they read about Nigeria should simply be discarded in favor of business, doing business with Nigeria. As you can see, both leaders signed 5 MOUs, nuclear energy, human resource development, road initiative, media exchange, and cooperation. You know, so we've started on a good note with China. I just hope that even in dealing with China, we'll try to not drop our guard. You know,
I like that.
You know, in boxing, it's always
yeah, exactly.
You protect your temple, because if you get a roundhouse to your temple, you fall asleep.
I like that part you mentioned. We need to be cautious. Okay, but President Tinubu in talks with Xi Jinping, how equal is this partnership? Is Nigeria getting as much as what China is getting?
Well, when you look at
is it a 50-50 or 60-40?
Well, you cannot say it's a 50-50 for now.
Okay.
Because you cannot even describe China as an emerging economy. China has actually arrived as and when you look at the history of Nigeria international relations, you saw that in the last 40 years, our biggest trading partners have been Europe, West, and East. But now, when we sit back and look at what have we gained from that, our biggest trading partners like UK, US, France, Germany, and co. So it is time, so that we are no longer in a bipolar world, it is time that we open up ourselves, and we do that with, like he said, with sincerity, openness, and we have to be visionary about what we are doing, because we also know the history of some countries in Africa that have allowed their economy to be run by China, and at the end of the day, they run into problem that countries have to take over their infrastructures. So the thing is that whatever pact that Nigeria is having with China, it has to be with our own strategic interest as a country too. Our strategic interest, not only as the biggest country in Africa, in terms of the fact that the kind of youth population we have. Yes, unfortunately, we never had a sort of consistency in foreign relations in terms of the leadership. But I think in that area, Nigeria has to show to the whole world that we are ready to be non-aligned, and we are ready to do business, and that we too, domestically, we are ready to, because the general impression people have is that when you buy a Chinese product, that it is inferior. But I want to say that it is not. It depends on what we want from them. You know, when you are in a relationship with somebody, you have to determine your terms of the relationship. You have to put your cards open. Nigerian leaders have to allow China to know that Nigeria is a serious country, and that a lot of things that have happened in the past is because of lack of visionary leadership. If China can be where they are today, considering what happened during the Cold War era, then any other country can emerge as a star. And because of our position in Africa as the biggest country in Africa, we have the potentiality of being the biggest economy in Africa.
Talk about population,
land mass, and you talk also about mineral resources that we have in Africa. We have the best mineral resources you can think of now. So I think that relationship has to be clearly spelled out to our advantage. I won't say that it is 50-50 because they are far ahead of us. Don't let us deceive ourselves. Now we are struggling with how to provide for it. We need them more than they need us now. But I think like they have galvanized their population so that China is now looking for where to go and invest. It's because of the human resources and human capital resources that China has built over the years. So every country wants to do business with China.
All right, BK, 5 MOUs signed.
Yes.
How will all of these agreements, translate into concrete results?
No, if we remain focused, and in this kind of partnership, both parties are obligated to honor their side of the bargain.
Okay.
The success of it will depend on each person honoring his side of the bargain. You know, you have your role to play. China has its role to play. You have to work hard. Both sides need to work hard to ensure the success of this, to ensure the eventual implementation
Of these
of these agreements that they have reached. But you and I know that Nigeria is a nation grasping for electricity. I just read this morning that we achieved 5,000.
5.3. That's what megawatts.
For the first time.
These codes are not taking it.
When South Africa is doing more than 40,000 megawatts.
45,000.
Largely from coal. Where Brazil is doing in excess of 100,000. Largely from hydro. We have all of those power sources, electricity, generation sources. But we are just not where we should be. So if China would help us to achieve our aim, because without electricity supply on a consistent basis, you can't achieve real growth and development. We are wasting our time. All of those SMEs that are described, as the engines of growth. They need electricity. Even those who want to irrigate their rice fields, they need electricity. You find that a lot of them have to buy petrol, you know, put in their generators and all that. We need to improve in the area of electricity generation and supply to our people. By having good ties with a technologically advanced country like China, there is a lot that we can benefit from. Look at, when you talk about electric cars, China is by far ahead of the rest of the world.
Yes.
So why can't we tap on that? Because electric cars are much cheaper to maintain, and they are friendlier to the environment than cars-fired, petrol-fired cars, or even diesel. You know, so I see a lot of opportunity here, but this is just the beginning. Signing an agreement or an MOU is just the beginning. There are steps that you need to take to ensure that everything is concretized, and we hope that our government will be able to follow through and ensure that we benefit tremendously from this trip.
Okay, let's look at it in Africa-wise now, because some persons have said that they feel that it's an unequal partnership. All right, Nigeria has many mineral resources, like gold, cobalt, oxide, lithium.
We have all kinds.
You know,
Starlight, everything.
But in your opinion, the harnessing of these energy mineral resources, you know, to the economic benefits of Africa, are we really getting it?
Well, I think the problem with Africa is the head, is the leadership of most of the African countries. Look at Congo now. Congo has the richest country in the whole world in terms of mineral resources, but the country has been piling down over the years because of instability. Different power groups competing for attention. So when you have instability at home, there's no way you can have a program that you run through. There's no way you can have consistency of program and visionary program. Like in Nigeria now, yes, we have consistency of government. In the US, whatever happens, the United States have their own defense. Is the power. Either it is a Republican or the Democratic power. But in Nigeria, we have not been able to have a consistent leadership that has a focus on a particular area, such that we can use our resources to the benefit of the maximum. Look at the mining in Nigeria now. Not until the last 1 year that we are getting serious with mining. A lot of mining activities is being done by private individuals, and they put the money inside their pocket. They put the money inside their pocket. Even Chinese are involved.
They are stealing our
resources. Exactly. So when you don't have that kind of a good policy in place, there's no way you can harness it for the benefit of the country, not for the benefit of individuals.
Okay.